guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patara's planting potatoes. Actually, I've already planted my potatoes. But what I want to talk to you about is how we do this. Now listen, I have at least 2 or 3 videos on planting potatoes, going through it step by step, day before and day after. But I'm getting a lot of questions, and so I thought I'd come out here. And we have not planted potatoes in over 2 years. So this is, we are so excited. I mean, this is like, I can't live without potatoes. Potatoes. I love all of them, but I particularly like the Yukon Golds. So if that's your thing, this video is for you. Now, let me tell you right now, depending on where you are, this would be planting season for you. It used to be as early as February here. That's changed. And frankly, the goal was to have my potatoes in before St. Patrick's Day. Well, it rained, we flooded, Tennessee went into state of emergency, there was no planting of nothing. I even questioned if we would be planting much of anything at all. Miss Bell, not even funny. So, we shall carry on. The point here is, it's very simple. Somebody actually asked me, they said, do you actually plant potatoes to get the potatoes? That's a yes. So what you're going to do, you can go to Rural King, Tractor Supply, some of your co-ops, different places, and you'll buy your seed potatoes, okay? There's all kinds of different varieties you can choose from. I have the Yukon Golds. Now, when you get them home, you do want to open them up and you want to verify that you have eyes. Do you see that right there? You see that right there? Those are eyes of the potato, okay? Now, depending on what you read and who you talk to, they don't recommend that you cut Yukon Golds. I've cut them and I've not cut them. If I don't have to cut them, it's all the better because they'll keep that flesh on them, and hopefully it helps them keep from rotting a little bit better, okay? Now, I had to get my potatoes in quick because they pushed into the last week of March, and we were in between kind of like, we had a lot of rain for a long time, and then we dried out a little bit for a couple of days, enough to where we could turn this, and I said, I'm getting up. Tomorrow morning, it's not supposed to rain till tomorrow night, and we are getting these in the ground, and then we went to an event. But here's what you do. You want to form your rows. Now, I've done this up to this point always with a hoe. We've had this turned by other folks. This year, of course, we've been able to turn it with our tractor. We were very excited and felt really independent and motivated to get it done because we could on our own. We made rows. Now, here is what you do. First things first is you get your potatoes and you want to make sure that they have been out, you know, sitting on your porch, not in direct sunlight or anything, but just kind of sitting out. They've developed eyes. You want to have your seed potato at a minimum, whether it's you cut it or not, to have at least 2 to 3 good solid eyes. It's where that's growing right there, okay? Most of the things that I have in the ground here are solid seed potatoes. I didn't cut, my son did not cut very many for me. He did it for me. But if you do, let's say you have 6 or 7 eyes, you would cut it in half, and you would want one half or section to have at least 2 or 3 good eyes, and the other to have 2 or 3 good eyes, okay? Now, I let mine cure. I let mine be cut, and I let them cure for about 2 days. I felt comfortable enough to move on, so I did not dip them or do anything else to them. I went for it because timing here was crucial. So that's why you're seeing the after, because I know some of y'all are going to say, wow, I wish I'd have seen you do it when you did it. Well, folks, we've been up against the time clock for gardening this year, and hopefully that has ended, but nonetheless. So what we did is we got the ground plowed and tilled and real loose, and then we made our row. Now what you want to do is you want to make that about 4 to 6 inches below the surface. You're going to make a trench, and you're going to do that about 4 to 6 inches below the surface. Then you're going to come in and you're going to put your potatoes, your seed potatoes, which your cuttings, whatever, about 10 to 12 inches apart, okay? You're going to want to do that. At that point, you're then going to come back and you're going to mound. I do this. Some people don't stress about that as much, but I found the more that I mound and I get on top of my potatoes, the better they will do, because you don't want the sun to get to them too much. You want to protect them, okay? So I just pulled by hand with the hoe. I pulled the dirt on one side and I pulled along the other. Same thing here. Same thing here. We have about 3 70-foot rows. That'll give us a good load of potatoes for our family till next season, okay? Now, here is the big kicker, okay? You see that right over there? That is a 2-year-old hay bale. It was up at old Fred's. He's not using it. They donated it to us for this cause. Okay, so another farmer brought it down to us because he has the spear. We don't have a spear, so he brought it and dropped it for us. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to bust that open. And I'm going to put that hay, it is old, almost starting to compost in a way, on top of my mounds. Okay, I've done this before with straw, and to be honest with you, it worked great, but it was old straw. Make sure whatever you're using is as old as possible, because you don't want, you don't want something to germinate out of that. So anytime you can get old hay bales, old straw bales, and they've sat for a year or two, that's going to work really, really well for your garden. So tonight's goal is to bust that open as quickly as I can and to get a good layer on top. Okay, it's going to help keep the weeds down, it's going to help keep the light out, and see, that will continue to compost and to age into our soil, and we'll just turn it back in whenever. Okay, so that is how we have done our potatoes. Okay, a lot of folks ask me, do you put this, do you do that? Now, you can put fertilizer on here. You can use whatever you like, folks. There's 10, 10, 10. There's different variations of organic. I think it's 666 or 667. Let's do that one. Whatever you want to do on there. You can use fish emulsion or use nothing. I haven't used anything yet. Some folks put it in there when they're trenching and putting their potatoes in. I have not done that. I always do a side dress if I do. I don't know if I will. Depends on how the wind's blowing. Someday I'll make a decision. And the reason being is because the cows and the goats have been eating and grazing, and we've had clover in here. We've put we had a top dress, field crop on here, and there's been manure all over this field for the past 2 years. Plus, we have scooped out the barn and we dumped it all in here before we tilled. So I might put fertilizer, a natural fertilizer on there, an organic one. I don't know. I'll let you know. If my crop fails, then I'll blame that. This is how we learn. So we're going to get that going. I wanted you to see this because a lot of you have asked on Facebook about how I planted potatoes. Planting potatoes is one of the easiest and most giving crops you can put in, depending on how well you do it and your weather. Farming is gambling. You can't predict the weather. You can't predict the future. You can't predict your health. What looks good today and what you think is going to happen, come 3 months from now, may not happen. You're looking at about 85 or 90 days, if I'm correct off the top of my memory on these. Here is how I judge if my potatoes are ready. I don't look for the plants to fall over. I look and see what my weather's doing. And when I get to about 80, 85 days, I come out here and I'll pull 2 or 3 plants from the beginning of each row, and I'll start looking and seeing how they are looking. And if they're looking good, then I take them. Especially if I know a lot of rain is coming. We've had tremendous rain here in Tennessee the past 2 years. To the point where it's devastating at times. So, nonetheless, we're going to get that hay on there. We're ready for some crops to come in. I hope this is a help to you. If you have questions, let me know. I may have forgotten something, y'all. Just trying to catch up with you. So, what I plan to do the rest of the way down here is, at this point in the game, by Mother's Day-ish, I plan to have some rows of by Mother's Day, Roma 2 bush beans, not pole beans. Those will be up there. I also plan to do corn. Corn has done great here. And we also plan to come back and do mounds with not potatoes, but pumpkins and some sunflowers and whatnot, of course, for pollinators. I am debating doing the Three Sisters again. It may not be a full-blown Three Sisters. If you don't know this, I did half of this whole area was all full-blown Three Sisters a couple of years ago before I was filming full-blown YouTube videos. And I did 33 mounds, large mounds. So I figured out what I like from that and what I don't. I may keep my corn separate and just do my pumpkins separate in mounds. I don't know. Ask me in a month. It may be different. So let's get that hay rolling. Hey, hey, hey. Let's do it. All right, guys, stop eating my gloves, you goobers. Well, we got it done. All covered up. Big guy's mowing. I'm gonna go up here and clear out some of these lily beds. Tomorrow, I gotta work on my blackberries. Piper, it's getting close, y'all. She is such a love bug. Real loving, wanted to be petted, the whole 9 yards. She's usually pretty skittish, so the fact that she wants to be loved on and petted, we're getting close. Progress, check. Hopefully we'll have a good enough harvest that we can share with our neighbors that have given to us over the years and helped us so much, and a good friend out in Snowbird in North Carolina. We will see you guys, on the next video.